Alright, so own the 455 now for over a month and haven't done anything to it, haven't touched it. In fact, I parked it here the day I got it home and I have not moved it, have not started it or anything. So we're going to jump on it and we're going to see if we can get it started and head out to the shop so we can look it over, change the oil in the engine, things like that. I've already aired up the front tire. So here we go. I've got the moved the X748 out. It's sitting out there in the driveway. But let's see if we can get this thing started. I have no earthly idea if it'll start or not. Battery's still good, so that's good. Garage is about 40, 45 degrees, something like that. Here we go. It started right up. That's good. Lift the deck up. All right, got the 455 in the shop here. Gonna do a little work on it. Just do things like change the oil. That'll be its own separate video, but then we're gonna go over some parts. Couple things like that. Go ahead and take the deck off. That way I can start, looking over the deck. I'm going to talk a little bit about my plans for this machine, kind of go over the cost associated with this machine, so on and so forth, just to kind of give everybody a little bit better idea of what you get into when you buy a machine like this. So I'm actually going to go through all of the numbers, etc., that you would typically see, because I think I paid fair value for this machine for the condition it's in, and ultimately in the end I think I can invest a little bit of money in it and either keep it or sell it. I'll take either one. So numbers, paid $1,500 for it the way it sits. I think that is very fair based on its cosmetic condition only. I think mechanically it is perfectly fine. That's not saying that any 455 in this condition is worth $1,500. It may or it may not be. I can't tell you whether I have to look at it to see that. So now, what do I need to do to it? Obviously, it needs a new seat, needs some tail lights, needs a tail light cover. I don't know what kind of deck work it needs. I know it needs a little bit of electrical work for the clutch for the deck. I know that it needs all its fluids changed. I know that it needs a dash panel. I know that it needs new filters, air filters, etc., etc. It needs new front tires. It does not need new rear tires, but I know it does need new front tires. So on and so forth. So let's walk around it here and we'll kind of explore. Obviously, it needs this side panel right here. Working on that. It needs this deflector right here. I think I can replace it. I'll have to investigate to see if I can get those out. So it needs a little bit on the front grille. I need new decals for both sides. This is a 425 panel that I got. This hood is not in the best shape. This is coming off, so I'll have to glue that back down. The hood itself needs to be adjusted because it is not adjusted correctly. And so it actually sticks up. Other than that, obviously it needs probably the coolant changed, things like that. All told, I will probably invest close to $1,000 in this thing. If you figure just the front tires, probably by the time I get them mounted, etc., front tires are going to be 125 to 150 bucks, mounted and everything. The side panel here is going to be, probably 300 something when I get done. Depending on I don't want to really replace the hood, but if I have to, I will. Needs new decals. Decals are like $25 a piece. Seat, I'm actually going to use a seat from the Gator project on this, so we're going to say the seat's 50 bucks because those are off-brand seats. The deck, don't know what it needs yet. The dash panel is $350. So that gets you at least $1,000 right there, plus all of the fluids and everything else. So I'm going to invest probably, and I'll give you the total when I get done with this, just to kind of give you an idea to do this properly, what you would need to invest. And obviously, because it came without a side panel, if I charge myself for the side panel, we're going to say I bought this from myself. You know, just looking on eBay, you're probably going to spend $200 for the screen and the panel itself. So we're going to add that to it, so on and so forth. So let me get busy taking this deck off. And once I get done with that, I'm going to make another video with the oil change. I won't show it on this one, because I've had numerous people ask me in the last couple weeks to do an oil change video. So I think that is very timely and important to do. And what I'll do is I'll actually walk through, or I will attempt to walk through as best I can everything associated with an oil change for the 455. So let me get busy. All right, so the deck's off. Changed the oil in the tractor, so it's got new oil. Now it's just down to changing the hydraulic fluid and changing the coolant and replacing the transmission filter, which will happen when we change the hydraulic fluid, and also replacing the air filters. Other than that, general maintenance will be done, and we can move on to other things. I got to replace, not all the general maintenance will be done. I've got to replace the fuel filter, and I'm also going to replace the fuel filter bowl. This one's kind of cracked down here at the bottom, so I'm going to go ahead and replace that. In fact, I've already got it. So looking at the deck for this 455, it's in pretty good shape. I don't see anything big problems with it. When you spin it over, the bearings are definitely dry. You can just hear them grinding away in there. Hopefully I don't need to do the bearings on this deck. I do need to replace at least one deck wheel. Obviously I got to replace that one. No shock there. I'll probably go ahead and also replace this one right here. Don't think I need to do anything with these. This one looks a bit wobbly, so I'll have to see what I need to do there. This one, however, looks perfectly fine, which I'm kind of shocked about. I'll inspect the idler bearing in there, whatnot, check on that, so on and so forth. So deck looks pretty good, pretty happy with it. The only problems that I've really seen, aside from the bearings making a little noise, the deck gearbox seems fine, but the fact that it's got some bulges here on the front, I think I showed that in an earlier video where they mowed over some rocks. Haven't flipped it over yet to look at all the underside of the deck. Obviously, it needs a good cleaning. We'll get that done as we move forward. So should be good to go. So thanks for watching. This is probably a pretty short video. There'll be an oil change video either before or after this, as well as the fuel filter and then the coolant. So thanks for watching.